Okay, we're just getting set up right now. Okay, rock and roll. How's everybody doing tonight? Oh, we're gonna have some fun tonight. Gonna have some fun. Just getting set up here, getting all my goodies and stuff. I got Yazala hanging out with us. We got Zach. Let me know if you can hear me on the chat. Just opened up my bubbly water, got my coffee. We are rocking and rolling. Cool. Let's get this party started. Everybody can hear me? Throw it in the chat if you can hear me okay. Cool. Good evening. How y'all doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Happy, what is it, Saturday today. Today is our storyboard jam session. We're going to be talking about sci-fi and science fiction and having fun. So let me know if you can hear me in the chat. Super appreciate that. Just let me know real quick. Sounds like we got chat live. Everything is going good. And I got my coffee. I got to get rid of these Christmas mugs. I keep drinking out of these Christmas mugs. I like them. They're good. So, Yazlai says, hello, we can hear you. Right on. Cool. How's everybody doing tonight? How y'all doing? I hope you guys are doing okay. And you're drawing, you're telling your stories, and having some fun. Zach, how's the weather over there? I think it's Australia, right? Very cool. And Yazlai, good. Everybody's here. Everybody can hear me fine. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to take a sip of the coffee here and let's get started. I hope you guys are all having a great week. It's the weekend. It's time to sort of relax, chill out, and storyboard a little bit. Are you guys storyboarding? Are you getting your stuff worked on? Either your graphic novels, your comics, your storyboards, your animations? You guys working on your stuff? Cool, cool. I know I was working on some stuff. I did some pre-things for this particular live stream so we can get into it a little bit more and get storyboarding. So again, let's hit off the intro. And good evening, everybody. My name is Paul Angeli, and I'm a live-action storyboard artist. And created this channel. This is a channel dedicated to visual storytelling and telling your stories, whether it be through live-action storyboards, feature animation storyboards, televised episodic storyboards. Whether you do your visual storytelling through your comics, graphic novels, or your comic strips, or your children's illustrations for your books to tell a story, or if you're just doing YouTube videos, or you're a filmmaker doing your first storyboards here. This channel was created to be a resource for folks like you that are interested in pushing the craft of visual storytelling. The channel's been up now for 6 months. Man, it blows my mind that it's already been 6 months. I believe this is episode 75. Wow, I can't believe we've done 75 live streams, man. It just blows my mind how quickly time flies, And I just wanted to say, give a personal thanks. I can't do this without you friends on YouTube checking this out and being able to participate with you. And thanks to you, you've helped this channel grow well over 1,000 subscribers. And, I just really sincerely appreciate you tuning in, whether you're here hanging out with me live or you are watching it on the replay. Super appreciate everybody watching the replays, And I hope you're getting a lot of great value so you can use this information to go tell your stories and build your journey as a visual storyteller. Like I've said before in the past, I always wish I had a mentor, and I'm here to help you through the technology of social media, of YouTube, to help you and mentor if you'd like that. So I hope you're getting a lot out of these lessons. Drop it in the chat. I like to know, and whether you're watching this on the replay or not, I really like to know. Let me sort of type it in here in the chat here. So question to you guys. What has been your favorite live stream to have watched? See if I read that right. Question: what has been your favorite live stream to have watched? Just curious. Throw it in the chat real quick. Let me know what's your favorite topic that we covered so far. We've been going strong for 6 months now. Like I said, over, right now this was number 75 different live streams. Whether it be, one of the many. What was the one that connected to you? I was just curious. Drop it in the chat. If you're watching this on the replay, type it in for the replay and say, hey, Polly, my favorite one was this episode or this live stream. Put a little emoji by it or something like that. Let me know which one is your favorite one. What are you learning the most from? Like I said, I created this channel to be a resource for like-minded individuals like yourself. This is a channel for somebody that's interested in getting into the craft of visual storytelling. We love telling stories. We've been telling stories since the dawn of humankind, and passing on from generation to generation of stories. We've had fine works, from the Greek myths to different international myths, whether you're from the Middle East or India or China, Asia, or the Americas or South America, Africa. There's so many different stories to tell, and it's great. And we use these different mediums, from comics to animation to live action films to whatever our visual storytelling narrative. So we've come a long way from drawing on caves inside of dark caves on the walls, talking about a hunt and those type of things. So this channel is created, like I said, to help those inspiring folks that want to become visual storytellers, or you're a visual storyteller that you're trying to up your game, you're trying to get better at your craft, you're trying to level up your work to get employment, or work at a studio or that type of environment, or if you're just somebody who likes to hang out and just see, what does a storyboard artist do? How do you come up with this crazy stuff? How do you draw it out? What are all the facets that you're doing? If this interests you, consider subscribing. Join the channel, and join the 1,000+ folks that are all supporting the channel as we help to reach more visual storytellers out there. And I try to make this informational for you, so you can go and tell your stories with your voice. We need your voice out there. We need your voice in all this different content and information and entertainment out there. There's opportunities for everybody. Everybody has a unique aspect of how they either draw or they tell a story. And if you know the fundamentals of those things, you can tell your stories. And you never know, you might be giving me a call. I might be working with you. So that'd be cool. So anyway, consider subscribing. Take a watch at this video today, and if this brings you some great value, drop a like, drop a comment, even if it's just a heart emoji or a thumbs up or a happy emoji. Just say hi. And a lot of you have been getting to me via here on YouTube, and I've been trying to get back to you as quickly as possible. Usually within 24 hours or so, I'm able to get back to you and ask your good questions. Some fantastic questions have been coming through the pipeline. So thanks so much. And let's sort of talk about tonight's lesson. Throughout the lesson today, I'm gonna try a poll today, a couple polls, and bear with me. I've never done a poll before on the live stream. Let me know what you think of the poll, and any comments would be appreciated. Let's go over to our chat before we get going on. If this is your first time on the live stream, or you're just participating, don't be shy. Everyone is welcome here, whether you can draw stick figures or you can draw, like some of the most famous comic books and storyboard artists out there. Feel free, drop your name in the chat, say hello, say good evening, say hello to your other community friends here on the channel that have been dropping by week after week, and just say hi. Okay, so over here I have Yazalai. What's going on? Zach is here, Zach Smith. Awesome, looking forward to the session. Yazli says, hello, we can hear you. Everybody, we talked about that. Zach is saying over in Australia, it's a Sunday. It's a sunny Sunday over here in the land down under. You know, Zach, it's funny. My youngest son is looking at colleges, and I know he was looking at universities in Australia too. He had some Reach universities that he's looking into. And I think there was one in Munich, and he was looking in Australia. He's always wanted to visit Australia, and he thought, man, Dad, maybe I'll go to school over there. So any insight, share with me. Appreciate that. So Yazli is saying, I'm sketching some character designs so that I can make a storyboard with them. Very cool. And Yazli, then I asked the question, what has been your favorite live stream to have watched? Yazli says, since I'm creating a story in a fictional world, I really enjoy world building stream, and also the camera one was very helpful. Yeah, you know, I think as a well-rounded story artist, you need to know your film language. You need to know how cameras operate. You need to know the film production cycle, whether it be feature animation or live action animation, because it's going to change the way you're going to board. And tonight we're going to be doing a science fiction, thumbnail and storyboard. We'll do some layer comps in there too, and see where we can go with this tonight. And so when you're working in sci-fi, remember, we're going to be doing a lot of establishing shots. We're going to be doing it more epic because we're doing a little bit of that world building that we talked about last week as we get going. So, but yeah, it's super important. That's also, too, Yazli and friends out there, is that's why I created the 3 different topics of live streams, sort of like a variety show, so you don't get the same old thing each time we chat. So on Mondays we're having our storyboarding mastering the basics, so think of that as your tutorial, your how-to sort of lesson in terms of how to storyboard and what's the processes of visual storytelling, whether it be composition, shots. I'm working a little one on just compositions of shots that you can use that mean different things. We'll talk about that on Monday. How do you break down a script? We might even go back and take a reverse and go more over script breakdowns and how to thumbnail from your script breakdowns. And then on Thursdays we have our sketchbook after hours, and like I said, it is so important to sketch as much as you can. I sketch every day. I know I have some sketches here, and whether I'm doing master studies or whatever I'm doing, sketch those, put those sketches into your sketchbooks, have some fun with it. And this is super old. This is like from 2016, 2017, and all I'm doing is just doing a bunch of body language shots. I was studying that at the time. So, but take the time, do your sketching. And so our sketching after hours, sometimes we just sketch together. Sometimes I'll do a drawing demo, and maybe we're drawing, human anatomy, faces. I know Maria asked to do cars. I got that on the layout coming down one of these days. And then on Saturdays, we have our storyboarding jam sessions, and the storyboard jam sessions are lots of fun. And I'm not using a script. I'm just sort of creating stuff out of my crazy brain, and we're just going to go for it and entertain each other. And you can sort of see me just in live format as we're doing that. So those videos are coming to you 3 times a week. And so again, Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Feel free to join in live or catch it on the replay if you don't have time. But I really appreciate each of you taking your personal time to watch the content in the channel, and I'm just trying to be helpful to you. So awesome. So Yazli was saying I'm fictional, and then Zach said, also like Yazli, the world building one was really helpful. Cool, awesome. I hope that does. We're going to be doing some world building today, friends. So today we're picking the topic of sci-fi. Science fiction has been out for quite a long time. You had the, you sit there and look at films and things like that from the past. And you had a lot of films, when filmmaking came out. You had the Old West, and you had a lot of Westerns. And that's something that maybe down the road we'll get into, is talking about Westerns. I love Westerns myself. I'm a big, Clint Eastwood fan, Good, the Bad, the Ugly with Lee Van Cleef and, Eli Wallach as Tuco Ramirez, you know, that's every time I go visit with my father-in-law, that's our movie we have to watch. Every time I see him, we have to watch The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. But there's so many fantastic. Whether you're, Magnificent Seven, you're looking at films, John Wayne, Gary Cooper, Jimmy Stewart, and even older movies than that. The Western had always been, the quintessential thing, and that's where you see sort of like, was it the Toy Story with Buzz and Woody? Woody's the Western, character and motif, and Buzz Lightyear bringing in the space age. And as we went into the space age, we started bringing in a lot of science fiction, and science fiction movies, whether it be, Atomic Blast, you have, Godzilla -1, and, tons of series, and Godzilla vs. Kong, and all this, just sort of, experimental things, and from atomic bombs to everything in this new age of science, and going to the moon, and you saw a lot of these, science fiction starting to hit in Isaac Asimov, and just other different writings, Gene Roddenberry with Star Trek, and you had all these TV shows going on, and what do you call it, Lost in Space, and during that time, and over the years, and you had other sci-fi, sort of like Planet of the Apes with Charlton Heston, and different films coming out questioning humanity and mankind, and then all of a sudden, boom, 1978 Star Wars came out, and boom, that sort of planted a spike in the ground of the science fiction, and it just went wild. You had everything from Battlestar Galactica with the Cylons. You had tons of TV shows from Buck Rogers to, all different, TV shows. Films just went crazy, from comedies to Spaceballs to Mel Brooks' Spaceballs. You had so many different films. You have all these, and now you're getting, you look at films like Alien, and that's the first time you sort of started smashing genres of sci-fi and horror together, with Ellen Ripley, it was Sigourney Weaver, and, as you're getting into that, or other movies, Harrison Ford and Blade Runner, and we've had a couple movies from that, and you get into all these sci-fi films, and there's even more. You sit there and watch, anything on, Netflix or Prime Video or Hulu or all these streaming services. There's so much sci-fi in there, and there's all different offshoots of sci-fi. So it's a huge topic, it's a huge moneymaker in terms of, the scale and what you're doing. I remember I was so much into science fiction when I was in college. I had taken I got into a theater makeup class, if you can believe that. Polly here took a theater makeup class, and I was not knowing what I was getting into, and I took the class, and I thought I was like, oh, I'm gonna make creatures, and this is like before Face Off and all that stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna make some creatures, and I was working in the theater department. I was like, this is gonna be a blast, and I'm gonna make all sorts of latex masks and creatures. And I remember the first day, and I met my wife in that class too. So that's a whole different story, and we'll save that for another day. But my wife, who is my buddy at the time in the class, we had to go buy a makeup kit, and I'm like, oh my goodness gracious, what am I going to do with this? And I never thought about theater, meaning like if I was the great actor Peter O'Toole on stage, doing Don Quixote or something, in the makeup with base foundation and all that stuff. And I was a little shocked when I got the kit in the book, and I was like, oh my goodness gracious, I want to do prosthetics and Lon Chaney stuff and turn into a werewolf or whatever, and at the time my wife today, but back then my girlfriend said, "Hey, listen, stay in the class with me, hang out, let's do this." My teacher caught wind of what I was doing and wanted to do, and I really appreciate. I'll never forget her. She went out and got me. She told me how to do latex. And I had a whole big bust of my head done. I did all sorts of appliances. I was doing exactly what you see on the show Face Off all these years later, and when that's old now too. And I remember getting really big into designing creatures, doing molds, doing masks, doing foam latex, and all that stuff. And I remember applying over at Industrial Lights and Magic. I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to go work in the creature shop. That would be awesome. And at the time at my university, they had I guess a summer internship, and it was pretty cool because I went and I sent in my work, and sent it all in. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get to work in the creature shop over at ILM. And then all my friends started hearing back, oh, I'm sorry, try again next summer type of thing. And I never heard back. And I ended up, I was like, oh my goodness gracious, this thing is starting soon. And I never heard back. I never got rejected or whatever else, or got declined. And I was like, what's going to happen? So I called up over at Industrial Lights and Magic for the number, and I said, hey, listen, I applied to your internship, and I want to get into the creature shop. And, and they looked me up in the Filodex, and they said, hey, listen, we're so sorry, but we're not bringing anybody into the creature shop. We've gone more digital, and we see that you have a lot of digital work that you've been doing, and we brought your stuff over there to the Lucas Arts at the time, the video game side of the company at that time. And unfortunately it's too late now, and we tried to hitch you over there. So I came that close to working over at ILM when I first got started. But that's a quick little story. So those are those type of things. So I guess we learned a couple different points. One, try out things, see how they go. If you're trying out visual storytelling, go for it. And sometimes it doesn't work out. And one of these days, I know good folks over at ILM will give me a holler again, working on a project or doing something. Maybe they'll give me a call again. You never know. So those are stories, and then those things happen. So keep chugging away. Keep working at your craft. Keep getting better at what you're doing. And there's a couple. That's why I share these stories and processes and journey and adventure with you, so you can see how that works. And you got to go for it, guys, and take chances. We were talking about that on Thursday. Push yourself. You only get one shot at this thing, and one shot at a life. And if this is something you're passionate about, go for it. Okay, so cool. Let's go back to the chat real quick. And Zach also says there's so many. Just finished watching the one about comfort zones. Let's break those mindsets. Cool. And we're going to break that mindset today. So cool. If you're enjoying the chat, please feel free. Say something on here. We've got a lot of people watching right now. So if you're new, again, don't be shy. Say, hey, what's up, Polly? Hey, YouTube friends. How you doing? Go ahead, and don't be shy. This is how we build our community. And, like I said before in some of these other live streams, this is I like this type of format. I got a lot of videos I'm about ready to get out soon, but doing a shorter format, so you can, instead of sitting here for 2 hours hanging out, I'm trying to encapsulate those videos for you, so you can sort of, hey, Polly, get to the point, man, teach me something. Cool. So, and I want to be able to get you some quick values, so if you don't have the time, you can get sort of better to the point. And then also too, I like the live streams because we can interact with each other. I see your comments coming in, and I can get some feedback from you. So now I'm going to drop a couple of polls today. We're going to try some polling today. Let me know how it goes out. If you see the poll come up, just feel free. Just be honest with your answers. It's not going to hurt my feelings. I'm just looking for some feedback on a couple things, and feel free to it. So, I got Buddha Belly here. Hey, what's going on? Hey, Paul, how to storyboard a crime thriller was my first video that got me. Oh, very cool. Thanks for jumping back in. Haven't seen you for a while. I hope you're catching the replays. I'm glad to see you're watching them. And good to have you back, my friend. Awesome. Okay, so let's just try a poll real quick, and then let's get started into drawing. Let me go over here and let's try a poll. This is the first time I started it. Okay, let's start a poll. Let me write the intro. Or okay, we'll see how this goes. Hey, friend. Okay, so I'm going to write that down. Let me change that real quick. See how this works. Okay, let's try this out. We'll do our first poll here. Okay, let's start poll. Okay, here we go. We'll try this out. There we go. The poll just went out. So all I was just saying is, hi friends, would you be interested in a one-on-one or group mentorship? So drop your comments in there on the poll. You'll see the poll in the chat if you've never done that before. Drop it in the chat. I'm just trying to get some feedback. I have some ideas that I'd like to do and see where we can go with it. So definitely drop it into the chat and let me know. Would you be interested in a one-on-one mentorship with me, or if you would like to do a group membership? Just curious, and throw that into the chat. Give it another minute here for you guys that are watching and gals that are watching. Let me know, because I'm trying to come up with a couple ideas. Okay. Give it one more minute here. We got a few votes in there. Doesn't tell me who, but just curious. Just trying to get some feedback. Okay, so let's end the poll. And then we put the poll in there. So cool. So with the poll, and I shared it with everybody here on the chat, would you be interested in a one-on-one or group mentorship? So right now, at this point in time, it sounds like folks are interested in a one-on-one mentorship. Okay, cool. And I'm going to throw one more poll. I'll do another one again in a little bit too, but one more poll real quick and throw it into the, I'm going to throw a few things in there. Okay, let's try this again. Start a poll. Let me see. Let me just start a. I think that's right. Okay, here's another one. Would you? And the question is, would you like me? We're talking about platforms a little bit here too. So I think I got this right. We'll let this roll too. So my question is, would you like to start a Patreon or Gumroad membership? I don't know if you guys have used either one of those. Patreon, I see a lot of artists out there using a Patreon system where they're asking for either pay a small nominal monthly fee and sort of see the behind the scenes, that type of thing, where there's projects given once a month, or if it's more like a Gumroad where we actually do a full blown out mentorship. So I'm going to leave that going right there. Drop your comments or drop your feedback into the poll. Love to see it and see how that would go. Some people like the Gumroad aspect where you can buy the individual courses, or you can buy them, or do a mentorship. There's a lot of folks that do memberships too. That were mentorships, or something like Patreon is more of a monthly type of thing where you would go and pay a nominal fee up until some of the stuff is private too. So very cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and share that real quick. So it seems like Gumroad is the main ticket there for folks. Okay. Yeah. Buddha Belly. Yeah. So the difference is Patreon. I know it's a different platform, and I know YouTube does a membership too, and some of them are sort of like buy me a cup of coffee, or Patreon, where you go and you do a once a month payment, and that gives you whatever the minimum thing is just join the get to see the behind the scenes, some extra stuff, and it's not it's nominal. It's not. I don't think it's super expensive. Some of them go crazy, but and with those you get behind the scenes. You may get a project or something that you need to work on, or some prompts or something like that. And then the Gumroad, I've seen it both where there's video content where you can buy the sort of like Lightbox type of thing. You're buying the individual courses. I've seen mentorships done that way too, to do that. So I got one more poll I'm going to do, and then we'll stop asking questions and get to it. But thanks for all the feedback, everybody. I super appreciate that. I'm just trying to get some feedback from my friends out there, so we sort of know what's going on and how I can help greater. So one more quick poll, and so would you like me to put together a we're going to call this pop-up workshop. Okay, so, and this would be yes. Do this real quick, and then we'll get into our yes, no. Okay, so I think I got that there. Whoops, it says until I was going to put together a storyboard pop-up workshop. Okay. It's still a question is too long. Oh. Okay. Here's one more poll. let this go here. So this question here is, would you like me to put together a storyboard pop-up workshop? Meet for about 4 hours with me live. Drop your comment in there real quick. And let me know. We'll let this roll a little bit. Appreciate all the feedback. Just drop it into the chat there. Whenever you get 2 seconds there, take a sip of my drink and just drop it in there. So again, would you like me to put together a storyboard pop-up workshop? So I meet about 4 hours, and we can go over all the details or the fundamentals to either a beginner, intermediate, or advanced class. And this would be something where, you know, we spend a significant time together, and maybe we can do a Google Meet or a Zoom Meet or something like that. We could talk live. It's more of a student-teacher type of thing, and do it that way. Drop it in the chat or drop it in the poll real quick. Let me know if this is something you'd like to do. I appreciate all the feedback we can get, and sort of has me going on there. So. And then I don't think anybody can do the poll on the replay, but drop a comment in the if you're watching this on the replay, and you still want to get a hold of me and stuff. Okay, anything else? We'll pop it in there. So cool. Let's go ahead and any more? We'll give it 1 more minute here. Take a sip of my drink, and then let's start drawing. I love that bubble water. Oh my goodness gracious. Keeps me from drinking sodas. I love soda too, but I like the bubbly. Okay, let's end that poll, and the poll is going to be here. And so, would you like me to put together a storyboard pop-up workshop? Meet for about 4 hours with you. Cool. So a lot of folks said yes. So that's pretty cool. And again, if you're watching this on the replay, please drop your comments into the comment section, or email me. I'll leave you with my contact information if that's something you want to jam with me on. That would be pretty cool to do. I just got some ideas of where we can grow the channel other than just the live streams. I want to be help you to get to where you're going quicker, and help you with the projects that you want to be working on. So again, thank you everybody for participating in the 3 different polls there. Appreciate the feedback and getting to hear from my YouTube friends out there. So, excuse me, again, if you didn't get a chance to comment on the poll, please drop a line, into the this YouTube video, or if not, just get in touch with me with my contact information that I'll leave at the end. Okay, so let's go over to Little Polly and go over to Photoshop and get this bad boy going here. I'm going to show you how I have this set up for today. And sort of what I'm doing here. Let's make sure we can see everything, and you can see me, and everybody can see Little Polly. Cool. Okay, so let's back this up a little bit. Okay, so right now, so when I'm working, I'm usually what we call HD, in the HD mode. Right now, my image size is 1920 by 1080. I usually run, what I'm doing right now is I'm running at 300 DPI in Photoshop. I usually do a lot of my artwork in Photoshop because you have so many different ways you can do your images, and I can port those out in so many different ways to port it into Storyboard Pro or whatever program I'm manipulating these images with, or putting an animatic together. Maybe I'll just put the images into a timeline, either with I've used Adobe Premiere quite a bit. I like DaVinci Resolve. There's some other programs out there that you can do your animatics with as well. But for when I'm setting up something like what we're doing tonight for our storyboard Mastering the Basics, I'm doing a 1920 by 1080 pixel ratio, which is your HD aspect ratio, in terms of what you're doing. I do 300 DPI on that. If I'm doing print, sometimes I'll go a little bit more, but usually do it like that. And sometimes with this screen, so if this is my image plane, sometimes I'll create the canvas even bigger. So if I'm moving the images or animating the images a little bit, I'll do that as well, just to show you how, there's no secrets here. I'm just showing you what I do. The first thing I do when I'm laying down an image is I usually throw down a gray layer. I don't know about you, but when I'm drawing on the tablet, over here, I'm and this is what would be fun to do, sort of these like behind the scenes. What is Paul doing behind the scenes? I'll give you an example. Like right here, I have my, whoops, don't lose out on me. I have my Cintiq. I work on that in front of my computer when I'm doing the live streams. Over on the corner over here, I have my big 24-inch Cintiq, and I'll just work back and forth sometimes. I like working big sometimes, and sometimes I work small. I got the smaller Cintiq, and this is the Cintiq, the HD. This is the 13, I think the 13-incher. I have this one, and so when I'm traveling, I'm bringing my laptop with me, or I'm meeting with a director or a client, or I'm just drawing to work on my projects or live streams, and I'm traveling. I slide this into my travel backpack with my laptop, and I usually bring this with me right now. I would assume this is sort of old school compared to having an iPad, and working with an iPad Pro and using Procreate or something like that. I'll eventually get there. I'm sort of used to this right now, and I've been doing a lot of work from home and not traveling so much lately with the latest with the what's going on with the industry right now, but. That's what I've been using here. I enjoy that. The other thing I travel with too, we were talking about that as well. So when I'm traveling, I'm off to California or wherever I'm going, I carry my sketchbook in that same backpack, and I have my pens and everything like that too. So just cool stuff I have just to share with you what I do in terms of storyboarding, sort of some of the tools and things that I am using. So I hope that helps you out, gives you sort of behind the scenes a little bit with that. And then over here, so like I said, I like when you're drawing like this all the time, and you are working in a full screen, that white. I wear glasses. I have the fancy protective coating on it, so it doesn't, your eyes aren't absorbing all the weird lights and stuff. It bothers me sometimes when I'm working on a pure white screen all the time. So I will go with that screen, and then I'll just add a black to it and just tune it down a little bit. So I'm working on gray. So it just makes it easier. So if I'm drawing or doing something, let me throw a layer on there. It just makes it a little bit easier for me in my eyes as I'm working. So so if I'm working and I got a character I'm working on or whatever it might be, it just makes it so much easier. Just to be working like that. And so when you're working for a significant amount of time. This is good too, just do a quick little warm up here. Maybe we'll use this character for our storyboards. I've already shared my process with you. Sometimes I'll draw like this, and maybe it might be a under layer or something. But then I'll come through, and then I'll hit my blacks. Whoops. Just noticed something there. Using that airbrush. So I'll do my line art, do some light stuff, and then maybe I'll come back in and add some pretty much gray tones. Whatever. There we go. Just a quick little drawing here to warm up. Let's pull those three together. Maybe we'll use this character for our boards or something. Okay, but that's how I usually, when I'm working, sort of that three-step process. Let's go ahead and group those layers real quick, and we'll just call this man 1. Cool. Okay. So the other thing I'll do too, is besides having that grayscale, I like putting some letterbox bars on my sequence too, in terms of what I'm doing and how I'm putting that together and having some fun. So we're talking sci-fi here. We're talking some fun here. We're talking some ships. We're talking, you know, a little bit of that stuff. And usually most, you know, science fiction movies start off in space. So, you know, that's something I'm thinking about right now. So let's go ahead and create a new layer here. Cool. And I'm going to call this frame 1. Okay. So we got frame 1, and then what I'll do is I'll go back over here, use a pen size of about 3. Let's change that back to my normal brush, and we got that going on. So let's sort of play around with this real quick. I'm just sort of thinking out loud, you know, I'm just sort of like, I'm just sort of thinking here. I'm just sort of thinking planetary like this, you know, in terms of what I'm doing. I might go over there and since we can't see very much of that, let's go ahead and go back. And then, oops. Let's get this to pure black. Get this to oops. What's going on there? Change that brush a little bit. Okay. Okay. How about we just go like this? Oops. There we go. Okay, we're sort of looking at space. We have our planet here, and keep it simple. Maybe we'll go to a 50% gray, like this. We have a planet, and then maybe we'll try this again. We have our planet structure here. What happened there? We have our planet structure here. And get some white. And like that. In terms of what we're doing. We sort of have a planet there. Maybe we'll throw some stars in there real quick. Sort of have some fun with this first shot. See how this looks. There we go. And we got a planet. Boop. And we're done. So it took just a couple seconds there in terms of our planet. Okay? Let's throw a save on this. Okay, and there's a few things we can do here. You know, again, that's not there. That's how we started with our line art. So if I was storyboarding, you know, and I was quickly working through everything, one thing I usually do, and this was advice I had received, and I share this with you. So when we're working on storyboarding, here we're just sort of, I'm making this up as, you know, we're going along here, and it's a little bit different than how we would work on a live action film, where I would be reading the, sort of go over that process again, friends. So I'm being brought into a project. There's already the screenplay writer has already written the screenplay. They've greenlit the project. Director's been attached. Maybe there might be a cinematographer, other board artists, you know, on the project. And there's a shooting script. I will get the sequences I need to be working on from the shooting script. You know, what I'll be doing is reading that script over and over and over, you know, formulating questions, putting the shots together in my head, visually telling the story through images and not the written word. And that's what I'm doing. I'm doing that translation from the written word into the visuals. And that's what excites me about storyboarding. If you didn't know, hopefully that's what excites you, friends at home too, is you're putting together the blueprint of the story. And this blueprint, a movie or a feature animation or a cartoon or whatever it might be, it takes a lot of creative personalities to culminate everybody's creative abilities to create this film, cartoon, comic, whatever it might be, with the leadership of the director and the vision of that director. You know, I'm a problem solver, and I'm going to help to solve filmmaking solutions, as well as, you know, story that I am helping the director see his or her vision, you know, in terms of the project that we are creating. And you know, so I'll read that script a bunch of different times. Sometimes I thumbnail right on the script and just put together my original images and what did I see in my head right then and there. That's why I really promote drawing all the time. You need to have your visual acumen down of not only just filmmaking, but also your drawing skills too. And I tend to draw with pretty much 3 pens. You know, if I'm drawing, I usually use, I like pen because you have to pretty much lay it down. There's no erasing. You know, I'll use right now I've been using these Pilot G2 pens, just a Sharpie, and I have a grayscale Copic marker. And when I'm sitting there with you know, with myself, or I'm sitting there with a director, I'm sitting there with a client, I can just sit there with a, you know, a notebook or a sketchbook or some paper and just carve these things out of the paper for the particular client. But what I'll do is I'll grab the shooting script. I'll be formulating my questions. I'll be breaking that down. Sometimes the script is broken down into the shooting, the shot list of what you're trying to do. I'm putting together my questions. I'm putting together my rough ideas. I'm putting together shots. I'm thinking of other films I've seen that in correlation with. I'm thinking of what are the props am I going to need? Are there actors attached to this? Do I need to be unmodeled? Can I just sort of go with it? Is there concept work yet? I'm putting all different ideas, questions, and research ideas together. So when I sit down with the director, I want to be able to hear his or her vision of what they want, what they see in their head, and I am providing them the service by putting that imagery into the storyboard. So then I'll go into a thumbnail stage, and when I thumbnail, like I was demonstrating with the bearded character I was drawing, I'm going to start off with simple line art. Then I'll go from there and add some blacks, and then usually it's going to be tonal with some grayscale value. Usually I don't do color work for my storyboarding. I usually go if I'm doing art of type of book, or I'm doing a comic, or I'm doing a commercial, or I'm doing what you consider a concept or a beat board that we were talking about earlier in the week. Maybe I will dedicate the time to do a full color render, because maybe we're trying to secure the financing for that project and they want to see a full blown out, bam, in your face, full color graphic. So that's sort of the process for there of how I do that. So usually I stick it to the 3 steps. It's going to be the line art, it's going to be have some blacks in it, and then it's going to go ahead and have the grayscale tone, and keep it simple. 2-3 tones. You got black, white, and maybe 2 or 3 middle values there. That's it, friends. In terms of what you're doing. And if you see other professional storyboard artists out there, that's about the limit. Maybe they'll drop a color in there or something for a flash or burning stuff or whatever. But it's pretty clean cut, because we're here to tell there's so many different things that we're working on that story. We don't have the time to render a beautiful illustration. If we want to do that, then we go into comics, or we go into illustration, or we go into another aspect of visual storytelling. But for storyboarding for films, I'm sticking to those 3 things. And maybe you don't even have time to add the grayscale. Maybe it's just all line work. The other thing I wanted to make a point is when you're doing your line work, you want to stick to the line work, because your boards will go faster. So usually a commercial or something like that, maybe anywhere from 20 to 40 shots that you're putting together for a storyboard, to get that deal with that particular advertiser. A film or a huge action sequence, you're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shots. You know what I mean? And with a limited amount of time. Or if you're in animation, you need to be on model. If you're drawing a character, they don't want to see some of these projects go straight from storyboard right to third-party animation, and they need to be exactly on model. So you got to be able to draw those characters right on model. So a little bit different in different aspects of the pipeline of whatever pipeline you're working on. But my suggestion is with your storyboarding your sequence, even though you're thinking of the blacks and you're thinking of the gray tones, get the dang thing done. You know what I mean? It's about speed and accuracy of getting that stuff done. Get it done on the grayscale, on the line art, and then go ahead, add your blacks, and then we'll go ahead and add your gray tones from there to soup it up to make that storyboard go. Because the other thing too is, don't fall in love with your storyboard. So if I'm doing a shot like this, and I'm pitching this over to the director, and I'm like, hey, Mr. Director, Mrs. Director, and they're like, Paul, I don't want to see that. I want to see the planet. I want to see the whole planet, and I want it more earthy, or I want it more cratered, or it's a moon, it's not a planet. I got to be able just to go, okay, cool, boom, toss that. So if I was doing all this work like this with no line art, this is a simple drawing here. I could redo this in 2 seconds, right? So if you're thinking about how this is working, so we always talk about this too, is like, you got to be able to, and maybe that's a great segue into another topic we can talk about in a future live stream, is how do I format my files. So because what happens if the director says, "Hey, Paul, I really like what you're doing with this, but how about we change the angle a little bit?" Or we change the composition and I want to see the starship come into the frame or whatever it might be. So I need to be able to get into that particular sequence again and redraw that real quick for those iterations. So keep that in the back of your head, friends, as you're working and you're storyboarding and you're doing those things. It's just some insight there. Don't fall in love with your drawings. Hey, they might be absolutely phenomenal, mwah, but it might not tell the story or be the most advantageous thing to the story. So don't get so close to these things that you're just like you're broken if it doesn't get used. Hey, listen, I have a lot of professional storyboard friends out there that work really, really hard, do some fantastic work that's just mind-blowing or a mind-blowing sequence. And you know what? It ends up on the cutting room floor. And whatever project they're working on, and the stories we could tell, for all the different projects we've worked on that never made it, or it got modified, and sometimes folks do a really good job, but when you get the camera on the talent and your set, it might be a little bit different than what you want to see on your storyboard. So, anyways, be ready there. Don't fall in love with your stuff, and be ready for change. Cool. Let's continue going. I hope everybody's learning a lot and you're gaining a lot out of this live stream. If you are learning a lot and the information is super useful for you, hey, consider subscribing. I'd super appreciate it. And I really appreciate your support of this channel. So feel free, subscribe. Don't forget to click the bell notification button so it reminds you of when my next video or live stream is posting. You'll get a little warning there on YouTube or on your cell phone. Hey, Paulie's coming up again. But, and then also too, take the time, take a couple minutes, drop a comment here in the live chat. If not, put a comment here on this particular video and give it a like, Put a little, even if you put a little happy heart or something like that, or a heart on there, a little bit of fire emoji, whatever. It lets the YouTube algorithm know, hey, listen, more people, it'll help push this content out to more visual storytellers out there. So thank you, appreciate you. Okay, Johnny says, how long have you stayed up to finish a job? That's a good question, Johnny. I think I told the story a couple live streams ago. I'll tell it again real quick. All night. Sometimes I had a project and it was creating a Jackie Chan comic book, but it wasn't really a comic book. It was using the footage from Drunken Master 2 and using the fight sequences and writing a whole new complete story and storyboarding quite a few sequences for that project, and putting using some of the original footage into a new storyline. I remember I was supposed to I just got done working at the studio, and the CEO of the company comes into my office, and my team had already left, and there was a couple of us left, and he's all, hey, Paulie, I need to talk to you. And I said, okay. He's all, Paul, we're going to be working with this third-party company. They're securing the rights through Golden Harvest Communications to secure the fight footage from Jackie Chan's Drunken Master 2, and I want you to storyboard quite a few sequences. I want this done, and we are going to be hitting a flight tomorrow morning to fly to Los Angeles, and you're going to pitch the deal. I was quite young at the time. I think I was 24, 25 years old, and at that time, and that was my first big storyboard break right there. And stayed up all night. I was supposed to go out with my girlfriend at the time, the one I met in the theater makeup class in college, and we weren't married yet, but and she came and we were supposed to have a date that night. I think it was I forgot what day of the week it was. But I needed to be in Los Angeles with storyboards in hand to pitch, and stayed up all night and didn't get 1 ounce of sleep. Some of those projects come to you at times, and sometimes you just gotta run and grow. You have to run and go. And I remember taking advantage of that one. I did everything I could. and it was still, and I'll tell you another, it wasn't digital yet. It was still hand drawn, hand inked, hand colored to do the sequence. And I even had to cut out all the boards and paste them onto actual boards. And sort of like your old school Disney style of, with your pointer, and you're telling the story and you're acting out all the characters and you're doing all the martial arts, you're doing everything. And that one was quickest turnaround, but that was a huge project. So to share a little bit of a story, most of the time, sometimes, usually when it comes to advertising, those are sort of last minute, in terms of getting a pitch Bible and asking, hey, Polly, are you available? Can you get this done? And if you have multiple projects going on, everything is a little different. Films, you have a little bit more time. And like I said, feature animation and animation, you have, sometimes you need to, I would say feature animation, you have a little bit more time than a televised, or excuse me, a streaming type of cartoon where it is episodic adventure. But you have to be on point with your boards, meaning be on model. So tight deadlines. Usually when you have bigger projects, there's multiple board artists working together. Sometimes it's an indie film and it's a low budget film and you're working on everything yourself. And there's all different scenarios. So I hope that answers your question, my friend. Johnny, thanks for hanging out and being a part of the live stream. Let's get back into drawing here. Get my glasses on, take a quick drink, and get going. Again, if you're having a good time with this, please subscribe to the channel. Appreciate it. Okay, friends, let's keep going. Let's keep rolling. Okay, so we have our, yeah, no problem, Johnny. Happy to help out, buddy. Okay, so we sort of did our first shot here. And I'm going to combine these two here. Hopefully it'll keep the naming convention there. Let's call this, yeah. Okay, so boom, there's that. Okay, so trying to think of what we can do next here. Let's just I'm just gonna have some fun here. Let's turn this back off. I had started drawing this. Let's go ahead and finish this shot. Let's make sure I'm a little cool. Awesome. And let's go like this. Boom, boom, boom. Drop this down to 3. Make sure it's on this. Okay, cool. So here it's like I just sort of, when I'm working, I'm just sort of thinking like a space girl. Just thinking out loud while I'm drawing. Maybe some sort of patch type of thing. I'm thinking sort of out loud here. Some ideas. Maybe she's in the ship. Type of thing. Just sort of thinking out loud here. In terms of what we're doing here. Maybe I'll go grab some reference or something and chair is here. Give it like a captain's chair type of thing. And you know, when we're thinking, I'm just sort of thinking like that. Call this you can sort of see the processes I'm going through. I'm not taking a ton of time. Whoops. Okay. The lasso tool is your friend. So like I said, I'll drop my blacks in there. In terms of what we're doing here. I'm just sort of having fun with this one tonight. I don't know how far we'll get, but we're just sort of boarding this thing out a little bit. You can sort of see how we're working a little bit. So at times too, I'll go grab some reference material if I need a reference or something in there. Look at space chairs or whatever else I need to be looking at. I have our character here. Maybe we this is where I use that lasso tool a little bit more. I'm just sort of painting it. I don't want to add too much detail in there, but just enough in there. If I wanted to add one more layer in there, I could. Maybe if I wanted like a 50% gray. I could do that just by going like this. Oh. Lighten that up a little bit, like that. And then what we could do here, as part of our hair, maybe we go and little bit fancier. Sort of board here. Let's get that space out there too. So let's flip that. And then another thing we could do in here too. Maybe she's looking at the computer screen or whatever type of thing. And then let's combine this all. Cool. And so you can sort of see how that sort of works out and stuff. I hope you guys are learning a little bit as we're working on this. So we're in space. And the other thing we can do here too is if I wanted to, I could do a layer comp as well. And I would do that by doing something like this, or let's bring up that window, layer comps. Call that layer comp 1. Layer comp 2. Layer comp 3. So if we're looking at this, let's get this shrunk down a little bit. Go 1, 2. You can sort of see how we're doing the storyboard here and keep going there. So having some fun with this. I hope you guys are all learning and having a good time with this and having fun here. We're sort of creating on the fly here as we're working on this sort of storyboard frame. You know, other things we can do too, does this frame read in terms of how we're putting this together. If there's certain things I don't like, I can open that up and then you know, modify that too. As well. Cool. Okay. Let's see, what are we going to do next? Okay. Close that back off. Look outside. We got it already. Trying to think of what else. Let's see. And there. Okay, what are we gonna do next? Let's get into trying to think of where I want to go next. Let's go to the like here. Okay, so let's go to there. This back to 3. Okay, cool. Okay. Okay. Just sit here and tell a story here. Layer. Okay. Let's get this zoned in a little bit. This is like the planet surface. as I'm working here. And let's get some our planetary stars in there. Okay. Okay, and let's throw one more layer in there. That'd be good to do like that. Okay. We have a planet there. And we're going to grab these layers all together. Boom. Okay, let's do it like this. Throw another layer comp on there, so let's go ahead and sort of show what we're doing. So bam, 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 we're here on the planet. So if that's making sense to you, cool. Hope this is helping. Okay, get a text here. Okay. Cool. Any questions or anything, or just you guys following along and having fun? Cool. Okay, so let's get into the next one. Let's get into this. Some sort of blast on the surface. Let's create a new layer. Okay. Just have sort of a blast in here. I'm making this up as I go along here. Let's see here. So we have that shot in. Trying to think I can do this. Just trying to make a quick explosion here. So I go like this. Okay, let's see how that looks. Let's combine all these layers. Boom. Okay, so let's take a look at this and see how this looks, friends. Thanks for hanging with me. So boom, space, astronauts look into the visor, got the planet, some sort of a radiation or blast comes down, and then I would go here, duplicate. Do another one here. So pretty much what we have going on is we have a blast, no blast, blast, what we can do is it's there. Just thinking what I can do with this. So I want to make some sort of radiation that there's somebody's like tractor beam, somebody's landing on the planet type of thing. Let's see here. Okay. Let's start drawing this a little bit. Okay. Just thinking out loud what I'm drawing here. Maybe these are the guys that come down on the lightning ray. Just think it out loud while I'm drawing a sequence. These guys are scanning down on the planet. Okay, so then we got this. Let's finish up this shot and we'll call it for now. Appreciate everybody hanging on. So the way I look at it is like this. Okay. What I could do is just add one more. Maybe these guys are coming from the tractor beam. Okay. There we go. Cool. Okay, let's throw another layer on there. Boom. Cool. Let me throw a save on there. Awesome. Okay, so cool. What a long night tonight. Didn't get a ton of boards done tonight, but just having some fun, being creative, coming up with some cool shots here. Zach says, thanks for the session, Paul. It's been great sketching along. Having a theme to work with helps with the creative ideas and flow. Awesome. Happy that you got a lot out of it there, Zach. Appreciate it. Let's quickly run through our quick frames that we're doing. The planet. There's a space girl and the ship. And then here's the planet surface. Some sort of blast goes on. Surface of the planet. And these alien sort of gunmen come into the planet. So very cool. Okay, I hope everybody had a great night tonight and had some fun here storyboarding with me tonight and had fun hanging out with you. Again, thanks for tuning in and hanging out tonight. I hope you got some great value out of the stories and sort of what we're doing together tonight. And again, don't forget to drop a comment into the chat here or the actual live stream. Say hello, drop a comment, drop a little emoji, a heart or a happy face or something. Throw a like on this particular video. Appreciate you sincerely watching tonight and hanging out with me. I hope you were drawing along, working on your work, and hopefully I was able to inspire you to continue telling your stories. Again, if you'd like to support the channel, super appreciate it. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification button to remind you the next time I am having a live stream. Coming to you 3 times a week right now, Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Again, thank you for joining me. I appreciate all of those that hung out with me. I had Zach. Zach hung out with us tonight. I had Johnny. I got Buddha Belly. I had Yazalai. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Super appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to watch me, and also to my friends out there in YouTube watching this on the replay. Thanks so much for watching and supporting the channel. I will see you in the next video on Monday. Till then, have a great night. I will leave you with my contact information at the end of the broadcast here. Have a great night. See you guys later.